Hi everyone, I'm Jonas Qiaoshuo, and I was just studying for the HSK 6 test, 汉语水平考试六级. And for that test, I have to cure a lot of sick sentences. And by that I mean I have to write a lot of 病句, which is a Chinese term for like a sentence with a grammar error. After I wrote a lot of those sentences, I was feeling pretty frustrated about my experience. So I picked an especially hard one, and I made a video on Douyin, like the Chinese version of TikTok, and posted it. And I got some really great feedback. So let's take a little look at this video. It's in Chinese, so we'll take it part by part, and I'll explain what I'm saying. And then we'll look at like the funny comments that I got on the end.
汉语水平考试最难的部分是什么？我在准备考 HSK 6级考试的最高级。考试分4个部分：听力、阅读、写作、口语。阅读前10题是病句，我已经做了无数个练习题，感觉病句快让我变成病人。
Basically, that's just me explaining what the HSK is to Chinese people because they don't really know what that is. And then at the end, I kind of complain a little bit about how hard they are, and I make a little pun like 病句 6 sentences are making me a 病人, a sick person. But like it literally means like I'm going crazy because of these sentences. It's not really a funny pun, but I just like making puns in Chinese. So let's keep watching.
看一下这个题目，哪个是错的？也许你们能靠直觉认出来哪个是病句。
So these are the 4 sentences that I showed to them. If you are studying for HSK 6 right now, you can pause the video and take a look at these sentences, see if you can find the right one. Otherwise, I'm going to spoil it for you in just a little bit. But you can take a look at that. Otherwise, I'll explain it later. Let's keep watching.
但能不能说出来为什么？这难度是何意味？我买了豆包、DeepSeek、Gemini、GPT 都给了不同的答案。救命！
Yeah, so basically there I was just complaining they're so hard. Why are they so difficult? And then I list a bunch of different AI that I tried to use to help me explain the question, and none of them gave me a good answer to the question. So just my frustration in the video. And the comments were really great though. Let me show you a few of the comments. Here's one. The person's like, by the process of elimination, I figured out that it was A, but I don't really know why. Or here's a bunch of people. They got the right answer. This is the right answer, A. And a lot of them were like super helpful. They even told me like why A is the right answer. They gave me a much better answer than any of the AIs could. Some other people were complaining about how hard it is, and then we have a couple other ones too. You can take a look at this one. It says B 吧，海洋不是已经是最宽阔的了吗？ So this person picked B, which is not the right answer. This is a Chinese person. They picked B. So they were also tricked by this question. Then we have a couple more. These people picked B. The first one says D 选项的而且可以上了吧 D 吧不但而且只有而且没有不但应该是登山之前不但要掌握而且还要准备 That person is saying like they both think that there's an extra transition word in there 而且 which I think got me for a little bit too. I think I ended up picking B the first time I did this question before I answered the wrong answer. But I definitely was thinking about this too. So it feels good to know that a couple Chinese people also made the same mistake. And then we have this one. It says 我感觉 C 是错的 I think C is wrong. 这个它应该删掉啊 There's like a word for it. I think they should delete that. 要么就分开成2个句子 Either split it into 2 sentences. A 感觉没问题啊 It says I think A has no problem at all. So obviously wrong, but this, and they have a couple more reasons. And then there was a few people that answered this person saying like, you're obviously wrong. But overall, really, really amusing. And there's also a couple other comments, some really friendly ones, like one person who's just like 病句连我这个中国人都放弃 6 sentences. Even me as a Chinese person, I want to give up seeing that. 再看到国内中小型数学问题时，我觉得他们病句比我还多。They're like, I even look at students in middle school and grade school, and it seems like the sentences that they have to deal with are even worse. So really friendly of these people. I love reading the comments on my videos. One of the things I love about posting Chinese learning content online is I get almost no trolls. Chinese people are so friendly to me when I'm posting stuff on there. Like one person even posted a comment, they were like, wow, like you don't even need to study anymore. You don't need to take this test. Your Chinese is at the level of a Chinese high school student already. I don't think it's quite that good yet. I mean, I know it's not that good yet, but it still is so nice that there are people who are just willing to compliment me online, and like there's like no people roasting me, because I know I have pronunciation mistakes and like I'm doing stuff wrong, but people are just so friendly to Chinese learners. I really love that about the Mandarin community. They are so supportive when people try to come and learn their language. But I feel like there's a couple other things we can take away from this too. Like if you're studying for the HSK, just know that everyone hates 病句. Chinese people hate them. We hate them who are studying for them. Like Chinese people have to do these too. I think some people are mentioning in the comments like they have to do that for their Gaokao test, the high school entrance exam, for their middle school exams. They have to always practice these tests too, and they also hate them. So nobody likes them, but I guess you can't say they're not useful at all. I definitely learned a lot of grammar rules when I was reading those sentences, and the other day I was texting my boss. I'll send you you can look at this picture right here. I was texting my boss, and she sent me a message, and I was like, wait, isn't that a 病句? Like, isn't that wrong? And she's like, oh no, even foreigners are correcting my sentences. Your Chinese is really above mine now. Something like that. It's just kind of it was probably a rude thing for me to do, to point out my boss's Chinese mistake, but I was just kind of addicted to 病句, I think, at that point or something. Addicted seems wrong. I hate them. I really don't like doing them. But I definitely learned a lot of grammar. And then I think one more thing just to remember is I was getting really hooked on doing 病句and like trying to get my HSK score as high as possible. But you know, in the end, your learning goal is your learning goal. Like I took the HSK, I didn't get as high as I wanted, but I still passed. And you know, make your own learning goals. In the end, HSK is just a test, but Chinese is supposed to be used. It's way more fun to make videos like that video that I just made using my Chinese, and then use my Chinese to read through the comments and get the memes and jokes that they're making. That's way more fun than just having some test certificate. So yeah, like if that's a goal that works for you, good. But if you can find something more fun than 病句to study, like I totally recommend making that your study method instead. Thanks for watching to the end of this video. I know I'm just getting started with my video career. I would love it if you are interested in Chinese learning the language, or just learning a little bit more about what it's like living in China. Drop a like, drop a follow. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. I'll see you next week. Bye.